Welcome to Hot Button Hashtags. My name is Matt. It's another question and answer Wednesday, a Q&A day, Quanster day. Today's question comes from Cute Strawberry Penguin, and it's sort of a three-part question. It's very long. I'm cutting it down into thing, so we're just three parts. First part is, what do you do about writer's block? I have been down this road many times. My writer has been blocked like crazy. Writer's block is when you sit down with your pen and you don't know what letter to start with. You know, you sit down at the computer, at the keyboard, I'm ready to go, and you freeze up. That's writer's block. You want to be the performer, but your brain wants to be a spectator. It's frustrating. It drives me crazy. It happens all the time. There are a lot of recommended methods dealing with writer's block. People will tell you, hey, you know what, you want to find a book of writing prompts. And a writing prompt is a statement, a phrase, a word, an idea, and you take it and you run with it. You know, like I might say, there is a blue rock on a red leaf. And you have to decide, well, does someone come along? Who comes along? Do they pick up the stone or do they pick up the leaf? What happens when they pick up the stone or the leaf? Writing prompts, they cause your brain to ask a lot of questions, and it just helps you to, churn out a quick 500 words so you can get on with the rest of your story. And that's useful and helpful, but I find that to be more of a distraction than anything. Another method is to just start writing gibberish, literal gibberish. I find this particularly useful if I'm writing at my computer, because it's the sound, it's the rhythm of the typing that really gets your brain kind of into that groove. My big trick, I take a shower. Something about getting in the shower, it just activates my brain. It just kicks it into drive. It's great. It literally, it puts my brain like in a completely different realm of creativity. I have come up with entire plots of novels. I have created entire board games. It's amazing how much more active my brain is, how much more productive my thoughts are when I'm in the shower. For writer's block, find a way to get into the rhythm or take a shower. For writer's block, it's really just chill, just relax, just don't put too much stress on yourself. Now, the second part of the question, CSP, was what should you do about this novel you've been working on for 10 years? You said in your question that you feel at times like it's a little bit juvenile. Well, there's a reason for that. You are not the same person today as you were 10 years ago. You have changed an awful lot. I am 39 years old. I am not the same person I was when I was 29. But you asked if you should just ditch the whole thing and move on. You're asking for permission to start over. You have my permission to start over. I think that's actually a good idea. Maybe don't start over. Maybe start a new story. Don't throw away the old one. Hang on to the old one. Because there will come a time when you're looking for ideas for something to write in this moment of writer's block, and you're going to be going through your old files. You're going to say, you know what? I remember that story. I liked that story. That was a neat story. That felt like it was me. It was more me than anything I'm writing today. And you're going to go back to it, and you're going to start over, and you're going to start fresh, and you're going to be like, this is the story I've always wanted to tell. This is what I was meant to write. And right now, everything between now and then is all practice. You're building up to that thing that you were meant to do. So, yeah, take a break. Write something new. Give yourself some distance, If the story really is that good, that important to you, that meaningful, then when you come back to it in a year or two, it's going to be fresh, and you're going to have a different perspective on it, and you're going to be able to do it justice. So yes, you have my permission. Not only my permission, but my encouragement. I would advise you to take a step back from it. Give yourself some time. So that's part 2 of your question. Part 3 of your question was, what kind of stories do I write? Throughout my teens and my 20s, I read almost exclusively science fiction, horror, and fantasy. I was a big Stephen King fan. Still am. I really like Stephen King. I really got into Kurt Vonnegut. And I realize now that it wasn't so much the science fiction that I appreciated from Kurt Vonnegut, but it was the human ideas. It was all the philosophy. It was all the asides, all of his extra thoughts that he threw in there. It wasn't all about Ice Nine. It wasn't all about, Billy Pilgrim has come unstuck in time. Although that is a fascinating concept, inadvertently jumping around to different points in your history, but I just think that it's the people, it's the characters and the ideas that really draw me into a story. Whether it's a novel or a TV show or a movie, I just really appreciate when the characters have depth. For example, let's talk about the Marvel Universe. The characters are very human. Even the ones who aren't human are very human. They really draw a lot of parallels between what they've got going on and what I've got going on. Their fears, my fears, and it all feels very relatable. And that's really the best thing they've got going for them. I don't really care that Captain America can regenerate, his cells, regrow, and I don't really care that, Tony Stark has built a new suit of armor, and I don't really care about any of that stuff. But you know what I care about? I care that Dr. Banner's abilities are so strong and so out of control that they terrify him. I love that idea. I love that he's afraid of himself. That is such a human thing. I'm so interested in that. I'm so interested in the relationship that Star-Lord has with Gamora, that awkwardness. I'm so interested in Drax, how, he misses his family, but he's found a new one, and he's learning how to actually be a person, how to have conversations. I love that. So that's what draws me into a story. Not plot, not the setting, not the abilities, not the magic. Harry Potter is a fascinating story because, it draws you in with the setting. But if it was really just Hogwarts and Diagon Alley and, Hogsmeade, I don't really think I would have stuck with it. It's got to do with the characters, McGonagall and Molly Weasley, they're some of the most amazingly written female characters in any literature, anything ever. And it has very little to do with their magical abilities and everything to do with their love for others and with their own convictions. And that's what's really important to me. So any book that is character-based and well-written, that's what I'm into. And I'll give you an example of one that if you've never read, I really highly recommend you read. It's called I Capture the Castle by Dodie Smith, and it's fantastic. It's about this 17-year-old girl who's just keeping a journal, and her father moved them into a castle when she was a little girl, and they live there, and they're sort of about to be kicked out, and life is not exactly what she thought, and she has a lot of questions, and she's afraid, and it's really amazing, and it's all got to do with the character development. I don't relate to 17-year-old girls who live in castles, or rather I didn't, but now I feel like I can. If I met one, I'd say, hey, I feel like I know what you're going through. I wouldn't actually say that to her because that would be pretentious, and you don't say that to a 17-year-old girl when you're a 39-year-old man. I mean, that raises a lot of eyebrows, and I'm not in the business of eyebrow raising. Anyway, thank you so much, Cute Strawberry Penguin, for your question. I will be sending you a Gristworth wand for your very own, so you can poke your family with it, throw it at your cat. I don't know what you do with it. Send your mailing address to hotbuttonhashtags@gmail.com, and I will get that out to you as soon as I can. Thank you so much for asking your question. And to the rest of you, if you have a question that you'd like me to answer next Wednesday and receive a wand for all of your trouble, send it to me. You can send it, again, I don't talk with the good words. hotbuttonhashtags@gmail.com. You can post it in the comments below, or you can put it on Facebook. We have a Facebook page you can like. Trying to think, was there anything else I didn't say? Oh man, probably, but we're just gonna have to save that for next time. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you back here again very soon.